Welcome to South Baltimore Now, sponsored by southbmore.com. Welcome to South Baltimore Now, where today we have a very special episode with Farid Salloum. Farid is the CFO, Chief Falafel Officer of Baba's Mediterranean Kitchen, located on Fort Avenue here in South Baltimore. And over the last 14 and a half years, Farid has done an amazing job of bringing us his delicious dishes that he's carried over through his family. And today on this podcast, we're going to get into things like family upbringing, more about his cookbook that he has out that's available for purchase. You really want to talk about the restaurant industry here in South Baltimore and any tips he may have for other restaurateurs and his keys to success for longevity. And if he has anything to say to his wonderful South Baltimore community that has supported him over the last 14 and a half years. We're excited to bring you here to this interview. Thank you all for tuning in. Farid, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
After 14 and a half years, you've done an amazing job in the neighborhood of just getting the word out, creating a brand for yourself, and customers love you here. The community loves you. You know, we wish you all the best, and I know family is a huge part of your business, so could you explain a little bit more about your family and the origins of how that led to the restaurant?
Yeah, for sure, Nate. I guess it began when I was young, when obviously where everything begins. And there was two things that happened. First of all, we were raised on really, really good Middle Eastern food. My parents are Palestinian. They came from Palestine. When I went to my friends, we'd have burgers or chicken, or my household, we had anab, which is stuffed grape leaves, and kibanai, which is actually a raw lamb dish that's delicious. And this is kind of, the background setting for my introduction to food. Concurrent to that, my father, when I was 8 years old, I think, went from being an accountant for Chrysler Corporation to opening up his own sandwich and ice cream shop. And that was notable for two reasons. One, only in retrospect do I realized that it was a pretty considerable leap of faith for him because he was jumping into something he wasn't really familiar with. And two, I benefited because every night, me and my siblings got free ice cream brought to us, which was awesome. So that's kind of like the background setting. And then you fast forward a few years, I was in engineering, and then I got an MBA, and I went to high-tech marketing. And eventually I just got tired of corporate. And I kind of either maybe subconsciously followed his footsteps and kind of jumped ship. And I wanted to open up my own place. And of course, it's a natural fit for me to be in the Mediterranean food space because that's what I love and know and am good at.
Where did you grow up?
So I was born and raised in Syracuse, New York.
Farid, can you tell us a little bit about what have been some of the keys to success for you for longevity in the industry here?
I think it's different for different owners. The driving force for me was kind of a passion for the business and passion for relationships, really. One of the things that I didn't anticipate was how vital and how awesome relationships with our patrons were, as well as my staff. Managing a staff can be challenging, but in the long run, you get to nurture people and grow with them and learn from them. They learn from you, you learn from them. There's kind of a trade. And then you have all these really innate, I know you can identify with this because, you've been in the place and I'm sure you see this out in the streets. The relationships that we had with our patrons, I think, were really special. There'd be countless times, maybe 20, 25 people have told me that their first dates with their spouses were at Baba's. And that's the people that people have told me. It's a good first date place. If I had a first date, I'd love to go there if I didn't own it, that is. I think passion is really important. I think loving food. I don't think that making money, I know some people do this, but I don't think making money should be a driving force. There isn't a lot of money in this business per se. I think it has to do with loving food and building relationships.
Part of me really wants to know, will I ever be able to get any of these dishes at any point in time down the road from you? Have you ever thought about partnerships with other restaurants, to kind of keep your hand in it? Or, another restaurant, hey, tonight we're serving hummus by Baba's.
As far as partnering with people, we're kind of closing for a range of reasons. I think my staff needs to grow, and I think they're awesome. I think they've done a wonderful job, but I think there's opportunities for them to grow outside of Baba's. I think COVID has been hard on us. I know COVID has been hard on us, and we weathered the storm fairly well, but you can weather a storm only so long. And the third reason is that, I've been running it for 15 years, and I just want to rest. Running a restaurant is a sport for the young. It is not a sport for people a little bit older. And I want to spend a couple of years just resting, traveling a little bit, and then I'll reconsider going back into the restaurant industry. But not until I had a chance to rest.
I was going to ask if you're going to take up golf or take up tennis or travel, but it sounds like travel might be on the horizon, which is amazing. Any place in particular? Or?
Well, sports-wise, I think I would like to get more involved in hiking and biking. Those are like my go-tos. As far as travel is concerned, I'm going for several months this fall, kind of as a launching pad vacation to Lisbon.
Oh, wow.
And I think over the next couple of years, I want to do vacations a little bit differently. I don't want to go to a place for a week. I want to actually get to know people. I want to actually understand the culture. And my first stopping point is Lisbon for 2 or 3 months to just try to be comfortable in that culture, in that environment, and really experience it.
Enjoy for sure. And hopefully you'll send back lots of pictures.
Yeah. Bob was on the road.
And speaking of on the road, you've done one of the coolest things I've ever seen was your newsletter that you put out. Is that something you might keep going in some sort of fashion, maybe from your travels?
Yeah, some people have asked me to do that. I'm on the fence about it. It's under consideration. I think Baba's itself is a force, and once it closes, it's a consideration. I mean, I'm a pretty good writer. I really loved writing those emails. I love communicating the importance of food and local and travel and relationships. I love communicating that. And maybe it's something I enjoy continuing. So, I'll put it under consideration. Would you like to see that? Is that something that you'd be interested in?
You traveling around the world and tasting new things and trying new dishes and maybe posting on that? I think that would be incredibly interesting. And maybe you're going to pick up some new subscribers. You could even podcast from the road. Why not? One of the coolest things I've ever seen in local restaurant marketing is people that took pictures of Baba's merchandise and your business card from around the world and posted those pictures on social. And businesses out there, if you're listening, all kinds of ways to market yourself and get your name out there and create a little buzz for yourself. And Farid has certainly done an amazing job of that. Let's talk a little bit about the community, what the South Baltimore community has meant to you.
First of all, I actually live about 3 blocks away from Baba's. So this is my neighborhood, and that's why it's especially important to me. One of the things I discovered in COVID was how passionate people, neighbors in South Baltimore were. If I was going to say anything, Wyatt over at Wiley Gunter's and Ivar's over Captain Larry's and Mike over at Barflies and down in Little Havana. I mean, these are all locally owned and operated places that really depend on us, depend on the neighbors. I know people rave over Chick-fil-A. But if you have a choice between Chick-fil-A and having a meal at Shotty's, whose owners are just like 1 block away, I like to suggest that people go to the latter instead of the former. Community is important to me. And I think that's something we discovered in COVID is the relationships that we have with our neighbors are pretty important. I mean, I remember the first few months where when you're walking past someone on the sidewalk, you try to stay away from them, or if you greet them at the beginning, you didn't shake hands or you didn't hug because that was kind of taboo at the very beginning. I mean, it was painful, but it also made you appreciate the importance of the human spirit and touch.
What do you think you're going to miss the least?
So today was my day off. I spent 6 hours prepping, unplanned. Part of that is because we're closing, but it's not unusual. Last week, the HVAC system broke, and I had to scurry to find someone to come in right away to fix it, and that was a pain. So what am I going to miss the least? I'm going to miss having to manage equipment and manage stuff that's out of our control, not to dissuade anyone that works in the service industry, but a lot of those people are stressed, and you're stressed in repairing it. So that's something I'm not going to miss at all.
That's real talk from Farid right there. Now, of course, the follow-up to that, Farid, is what are you going to miss the most?
Oh, that's an easy one. I love our customers. I love our patrons. And in the book, I even say that the word patrons isn't a grandiose word enough because, I mean, these are people that are the engine of my business, right? They're the ones that make me happy. They're the ones that keep my staff employed. We were fortunate to have people that really cared about the food and cared about us. That was just wonderful. The relationships we had, and not only me, I mean, it's just not a me thing. There's Billy and Ryan, who have been managers for me for 14 years, and the rest of my staff, on average, 6, 7, 8 years. They've built relationships too. And all of us are sad because we all recognize that we have to close. At the very beginning, I told my staff that they didn't report to me, that they reported to the customer, because really they do, and I do too. And we loved having them come in, no doubt about it. I'm going to miss my customers. I'm going to miss my staff, especially, like I said, Billy and Ryan. We've been working closely together for 14 years, and these are people that we don't have rifts with each other. We support each other, and we got each other's back every single day, every single hour for the past 14 years. And that's something I'm going to miss for sure.
So Farid, it's sad to see you close up shop, but it's completely understandable, and I think you're going to have a wonderful support as you move forward. Your staff is going to have wonderful support where they go as well. Final question, is there anything you'd like to say, anything that's out there that you'd like to tell the audience?
I just want to thank everyone that supported us through the years, because they are the ones that made this truly wonderful, life-changing experience for me and my staff. They're just so appreciated. So thank you to everyone listening.
And how much longer can folks enjoy some babas?
May 14th is our final day.
All right, you heard it, folks. May 14th, it's time to load up on all the goodies from Baba's. Farid, thank you very, very much for doing this. I really appreciate your time and wish you all the best. And I hope I do see that newsletter. I want to see pictures. I want to see stories from the road for sure.
I really appreciate it, Nate. Thank you so much.